Hey, everybody, welcome to That Expert Show, where you help run the show. I'm Anna Canzano, and tonight we're talking all things Disney. You know, planning for a Disney vacation can be so special, but it also can be overwhelming. There's so many options, and of course, it can be costly as well. So budgeting is a big part of that planning. But tonight we're going to be talking about what's new and different at the actual theme parks, Disneyland and Disney World. We'll talk about Aulani, the Disney resort in Hawaii, as well as Disney Cruise Lines, and then something that I don't actually know a whole lot about, which is Adventures by Disney. These are overseas trips that Disney actually is doing as well. Our featured guest tonight is a trained Disney vacation planner, and he joins us live right now from Austin, Texas. Chris Wilkinson, welcome to That Expert Show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Chris, it's so good to see you and talk with you. We worked together in a former life as TV journalists, and so happy that you are branching out into this brand new thing because you, I know, are a lifelong Disney nerd. You can,
I was just going to say, you can use the nerd word. It's okay, I get it.
What inspired you to become this Disney vacation planner? And then further, why, should someone like me talk to someone like you before trying to plan a Disney vacation?
So, my nerdness with Disney started when I was just a little kid. My dad used to take me to Disneyland every year. I grew up on the West Coast. Fell in love with it then. Take my family, and I was always the one who planned the vacations. My wife and I would say, okay, this is what we want to do, and then she would let me loose, and I would find out the places to stay, how much they were, present options, and she would go, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And so I kind of have a knack for the vacation planning. And then I found out that you can do this kind of as a living. So I jumped in and am still jumping in. I have about 1 foot almost all the way submerged and the other foot's about to drop. But it's a lot, but I have fun doing it. I have fun helping other people discover what I've discovered from my childhood. That
is awesome. I'm sure one of the questions that you get most often is the comparison between Disneyland and Disney World. And, I don't even know if you can answer, but which one is actually better? I know they're similar, but so different.
It's like having two kids and someone asking you which one is your favorite kid. It's not really a fair question. So Disneyland is the original. So it has been around the longest. It's smaller. There's only 2 parks. It's very walkable, but it only has 3 resorts. Now, there is a lot of very nearby hotels that you can go to, but it's just a very smaller platform, and you can do it much quicker than Disney World, which will save you a little bit of money. Disney World, 4 parks, 2 water parks, 25 resorts, ranging from everything from real basic to ultra luxury, and so that's the difference. It really takes 4 days to do Disney World right, especially if you've never been. Once you've been, you can kind of get a sense for, well, I really like that park, or I really like that park. So that's basically the difference between the two. And my kids will tell you that they love Disney World and Disneyland's okay.
Interesting. I've been to both as well, and I would say that, I feel like I did more walking around at Disney World. There's just more to explore, and I feel like I definitely got taken. We had to dip into the kids' college funds to pay a visit to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo boutique because the younger daughters did that a few years back, and I remember just walking, they loved the experience. They came out as princesses. They got their hair done, glitter, the whole works. But the whole time I was sitting there going, I feel like a sucker. I feel like a sucker. I hope this is worth it. But, in the end, I think it was a good experience. Let's talk a little about money, though, because obviously with the experiences that you've had and the training that you've gotten now as a vacation planner, you have some information for people on how to save money on their Disney experience.
Yeah, so if budgeting is an issue, skip the boutique.
Good to
Number
know.
one. If it's not an issue and you really want to give your kids that, and they also do the same boutique will also do boys turn them into knights, so you can do the same experience if you have a mixed family. It's fine. But some of the things you can do, use the value resorts. They're much cheaper. You can even stay off property, which is even cheaper, but then you have to spend your time getting to the property. So time is money, but it is a way to save some.
Wait, stop for a second, because what is a value? Like, all I know is that there's like Disneyland Resort, which I've always wanted to stay at, never gotten to, wanted to as a little kid, dreamed of it, didn't happen. Is it like there's a Disney World Resort, I'm assuming as well, but then there's value resorts that are considered Disney resorts?
So there are, at Disney World, there are 25 resorts. 25. Ranging different themes from very affordable, very much like a Motel 6, all the way up to super luxury like a Four Seasons. And the prices are anywhere from $200 a night if you can catch a good sale, all the way up to $600, $700 a night. So that's a big disparity. So if you stay in those value resorts, you can really save a lot of money. Now, to do that, you have to plan ahead, which is the other tip I have. Know and watch for, now, there used to be off seasons, but with COVID revenge travel, there really is no more off season, not yet. People have that pent up, I gotta go. I've been at home for too long, I gotta get out. And so it seems like it's always packed. So another way you can save money is buy Disney gift cards at Costco and Sam's Club. They work just like cash, but for $80 you get $100 worth of money. So it's a little something and it helps. So.
And you can use those cards to pay for what? You'd like your hotel stay or food inside the park or all of the above?
Mostly it's inside the park, yeah. So your food, souvenirs, ticket upgrades, which is the next thing we should talk about because it is going to affect the cost of your vacation.
Okay, but wait, before we move on to that though, what is the actual benefit? Like if I'm going to Disney World with my family, what is the benefit of actually staying in one of those 25 resorts versus just staying off property? You mentioned like getting to the park is easier.
Yep. So getting to the park is easier if you're staying within the Disney compound. Disney transportation is all free. Some places are easier to get to than others. They just after or right before the pandemic, they installed what they call the Skyliner, which we got to use in our last visit a couple weeks ago, and it's phenomenal. It's quiet, it's fast, 10 people to a car. It whisks you away right from your resort to a couple of different parks. It doesn't go everywhere, but if you're going to the places that it does go to, it is a huge time saver over the buses.
Okay, so that's good information.
So that's something. It's, so you can save yourself some time by using those things. There's some other perks as well. There's usually like a half-hour early admission, or sometimes later. You can stay later if you stay at certain parks.
Okay, I love it. Now, you were talking about, things that are inside the park. And something I've heard about is the Genie Plus, or whatever, Genie app. What is that all about? How much does it cost, and is it worth it?
So, next question. No, I'm just kidding. You literally can spend hours discussing Genie Plus. It is very complicated, and I'm just going to brush on it. So basically, Genie is an app. It's also called the My Disney Experience app. It helps you plan your day. So it gives you a live map of all the rides and attractions, how long is the wait time, where can I find food. You can do mobile ordering of food, so if you're in line somewhere and you know there's a restaurant nearby that does mobile ordering, you can place your order while you're in line. So that's good to have. The next level up is, and that's free, by the way, regular Genie is free. Genie Plus costs $15 to $20 per person per day, and it gives you preferred access, basically skip the line kind of thing, like the old, a lot of people will remember Fast Pass.
Oh yeah, I remember
kind of
Fast
replaced
Pass.
It replaced that, but you're not limited to just 3 rides. You just keep making reservations as you go. Once you go on a ride, you can make your next reservation. So again, time is money. So by spending a little bit, you can hopefully get to more rides and attractions, especially the ones with longer lines. Anything in the Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars land, it's invaluable. Also, there is something called, and those are, by the way, those are called lightning lanes. That's where you go to skip the lines. So there's an individual lightning lane, which also is paid, and there's 1 ride per park that individual lightning lane is for, and it's the most popular rides. And then finally, there's something called a VQ, virtual queue, and that is reserved for when Disney opens up a brand new ride like Guardians of the Galaxy, which, my opinion, best ride in the history of all theme parks.
Oh, really?
It is phenomenal.
I've done it. I'm going to have to argue with you on that one, but okay.
No, it's really, really good.
Okay.
So,
better
but
than
anyway,
the Incredicoaster.
Yeah, that's okay. Once you ride Guardians, though, you'll know what I'm talking about.
All right.
It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But all those things add up. And what you're paying for, again, is to make your day experience go by better. So by paying a little bit up front, you get to, hopefully, if you plan it right, go on more rides, have more fun, have a better experience.
Right.
The flip side is if you don't plan it and then you buy it, you might as well not have bought it at all. Because, and that's where when I said you can spend an hour talking about Disney Genie Plus planning, because it's really, really complicated.
I mean, having said that, if you have multiple days to spend at the park, because some people, like, they think of going on a vacation and they don't necessarily want to be on their phone the whole time. Like, they kind of want to old school it and just wing it, and they're okay with being in line for a little bit longer. Like, that's where I think a conversation with you is actually helpful, because that whole kind of strategery around getting to the shortest lines at the right time and making reservations, that may not be for everybody.
And it's not. And my wife and I were kind of a little bit different. I like to plan it out, but I am also very quick to dump the plan.
Right.
If it's not going how I want it, I don't want the plan to ruin my vacation. So I will very quickly say, poof, there it goes. Let's do whatever it takes to just have fun. Because that's what you really want on vacation, is to have fun.
Right.
So, but that's one of the things I do ask clients is, what kind of a vacationer are you? Are you an early riser, go-getter? Do you want to hit every single park in one day? Or do you want to sleep in, have lunch, go to the park, come back, swim, go back to a park, enjoy the fireworks, ride a little bit, come home? So that's one of the things that, by understanding their personality and what they like to do and who is in their party. Do they have their grandma with them? Do they have a 2-year-old? That kind of dictates what they're going to be able to do realistically in a day.
I want to thank people who are joining us live, both on my Facebook page as well as from the Oregonian. Thanks for tuning in. Judy's saying that the Skyliner is amazing, so she's affirming that. And folks are talking about Guardians. Judy also says that Guardians is so much more than a ride. I'm not really a Star Wars fan, and I love that ride. But wait, Guardians of the Galaxy, that's not a Star Wars ride. That's
No, it's
okay.
not.
Okay.
It is from Marvel.
Right. Okay.
Star-Lord and his friends. It's just so well done, and I couldn't even explain it. It's just great.
I want to invite people who are watching live, if you do have questions, feel free to post your questions. I'm monitoring all the comments live, and we'll try to get to them before the end of this episode. I want to talk to you about some of the other options, like when it comes to Disney cruises. You see the advertisements for these.
Yeah.
They look very magical. But with so many different cruise options, I mean, a lot of people love cruises because they're an affordable way to go on a vacation, go to new places. Why would somebody choose a Disney cruise over so many other options?
It's for the same reason that you would choose the Disney vacation to start with. It's the level of service, hopefully. Now, every organization has somebody that's going to say something bad, but for the most part, the way that they run everything, resorts, parks, how clean it is, how well kept up everything is, how well maintained everything is, you're going to find that same experience throughout the Disney vacation programs, no matter where you go. If it's in a park, if it's one of their other resorts, on a cruise, the Disney cruises basically are just like the other cruises, but they're all Disney themed. So you're going to have Disney shows. You're going to have, some sailings have Star Wars days and Marvel days where they're just filled with characters. The Bahama and Caribbean cruises have their own private island called Castaway Cay. So it's not that it's wholesale different from any other cruise, but it does have that Disney theme and that Disney magic that if you've gone to one of their other vacation resorts, you'll understand you're going to get that same level of service on their cruise line.
Well, and we were showing earlier some video of the Aulani resort that is on Oahu in Hawaii.
Yep.
That place is interesting as well. I mean, it's not cheap. Let's just start with that.
Nope. Yep.
But it does have, it doesn't have like the rides, obviously, of Disneyland, but it has just a Polynesian style Disney feel to it. We want to talk about Aulani a little bit because I think a lot of people actually don't know that it's there.
Yeah. So Aulani is a standalone resort. They are just west of Pearl Harbor. It's on like the southwest shore. They have their own private lagoon. They have the swimming pools and the towers, and it's, like you said, it's very much the quintessential Polynesian experience. And there's no reason if you were to go there to ever leave the resort unless you've never been to Hawaii before. And then I recommend you get out and see some other things. But it's that Disney level of service. It's the themes. You can find, are you familiar with Hidden Mickeys?
Hidden Mickeys? No, I have no idea what that is.
Hidden Mickeys.
Okay.
Okay. So if you pay attention at any Disney theme park, resort, cruise, Aulani, anything that they do, the Imagineers like to hide Mickey ears. They hide them everywhere. And while you're waiting in line for a ride or something, you go, "Hey, look, Hidden Mickey." And it's just a fun little distraction. So they're all over the place. So the Disney influence is there, but it's all with a Hawaiian Polynesian theme.
Interesting. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about too was the Adventures by Disney. I don't know anything about this. This is kind of an overseas excursion thing that Disney also offers. I would love to know more about that.
So Adventures by Disney is basically very small groups, 12 to 16 people, I think is what they try to keep it at. You get 2 tour guides that are local to wherever you're traveling, so they know the area, they know the customs, they know the language. They go to Africa, Asia, South America, Europe. There's even some in the United States, in Wyoming, Montana, and Alaska. And you are catered to hand to foot. You never touch your luggage. You get off the airplane, your luggage is picked up, it's delivered to your room. There's an itinerary, there's a bus. They handle everything. One story I like to tell is in Paris, and I forget the name of the bakery, but there is a world famous bakery in Paris. All the tourists go to, lines out the door. They rent it for an hour and they shut it down. And only the tour goes inside, pastries, coffee, relaxed atmosphere, not the waiting in line and the hustle and bustle. And then after an hour, okay, let's go. And you walk out and everyone else can go in, and they take you to, for example, the Louvre. Backdoor tour. You don't have to wait in the lines. You don't have to buy tickets. It's all done for you. It is the ultimate vacation. Now, it is not cheap, but if you want one of those lifetime experiences, that's one of the ways you can get it.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. And like, I mean, I would think that people would want to, people who can afford that experience are buying with it the assurance that the quality of the service and experience is almost guaranteed because it carries the Disney brand.
Yes. And that's what's true throughout all of their vacations is they're really setting the standard for the level of service and for taking care of everything, having the right people in place to take care of you. If you've ever been to one of the theme parks here, you'll probably have seen there are so many people, sweepers, who keep the park clean. And when they're not keeping the park clean, oftentimes you'll see them draw little designs with water in their brooms into the asphalt. And it's, for no reason, just because to do it. But it's one of those little touches that really sets them apart.
Any other last strategies, tips, insider information that you would want people to know?
If you're considering a Disney vacation, start saving, number one. Do a little bit of homework. And if that means on your own, go to their websites and poke around and see what's available, or contact someone like me who's a vacation planner and ask questions. That's really what I'm here for. If somebody says, I have a family of 4, but one of my kids is autistic. What can Disney do for that? Well, they have a whole program just for those situations. And and again, it's that going overboard with the level of service that other places that you could choose to go to and visit just don't match what Disney offers. But I would, work with you and say, let's see, you and your husband, you have 2 young girls, you've been there before, so you kind of already have a sense of what you like, right? But you haven't been since the pandemic, correct?
Right.
So it's completely different. You need a reservation just to get into the park each day. There are strategies as to which parks you visit on certain days. There's extras, like when I went in October, we went to the not so scary Halloween party. And I have to tell you, At first, I was like, I don't know, trick or treating at Disneyland or Disney World. It was so much fun. Everybody was in costume the entire park, and we came out with bags of candy.
Oh, that's so great.
It was really a good time. And they have those special things. Epcot has a food and wine festival. There's the Christmas thing that they do, which is over the top. So even for people who have been there before, there's always new things to discover, new resorts to try. Maybe you want to leave the girls with grandma and grandpa. So there's a lot of options.
Well, and that's something to consider too. And by the way, Chris on my Facebook page also mentioned the Not So Scary Halloween was fantastic as well. But, there's a lot when it comes to, different types of families that are trying to visit Disneyland, multi-generational families. Yep. If you've got teenagers versus little ones, what it would appeal to the teenagers. Right. Just a little bit of thought like that can go a long way. It doesn't cost anything to talk to you and try to plan the trip with you?
No, it doesn't. So I wish that I can offer discounts to people, but that's not the way Disney works. They understand the value of their brand. Kind of like Apple, you will never really see an Apple sale. Sometimes a little bit here and there, but they know what their products are worth. And Disney is in the same vein. They know what their products are worth. So I can't give you any discounts. But what I can do is, based on my experience of going to all these places, make recommendations and help you make the most of your vacation. So my motto is less work, more fun. So you don't have to sit at your computer into the wee hours of the morning and trying to figure out where's the best place to go. You tell me what you like to do and how you like to do it. I sit at my computer to the wee hours of the morning, and then I make my recommendations. And hopefully you like them and you book through me. But if you don't, that's just one of those things.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, Chris, thank you so much for all this information. I hope people reach out to you. We'll obviously put information in the posts here on how people can get a hold of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Okay. I hope that was helpful to you. We will create a tip sheet that summarizes all the key points that we covered during this episode, and we'll post that on thatexpertshow.com. We always put our content out on YouTube as well as on different podcast channels. So wherever it is that you listen to podcasts, look for That Expert Show, and you can find us there if you prefer to take in content that way. I love hearing from you because I get the best ideas from you about the topics that we should cover and the guests that we should book. So reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just look for Anna Canzano. We are live on Mondays in partnership with The Oregonian, and I really appreciate that this is a two-way conversation. Appreciate all the comments and questions that you posted on the various channels tonight, and it's great to hear from you. It is called That Expert Show, and it is where you help run the show.